Hi, my name is Lyric, and today we are also welcome back. I go a long time without posting, but it's alright. So today we're going to be reacting to a video by Jonny Arnett, one of the greatest NBA YouTubers. I've already reacted to one of his videos, and I'm a frequent visitor of his channel, so we're going to be reacting to his newest video as of me watching this, called How to Fix the NBA. Now, the NBA, I'm assuming there's going to be talking about how to fix a lot of the problems with the current NBA. Some people think there's like no defense play in the NBA, you know, load management and stuff. So, let's see how Jonny Arnett thinks we should fix the modern day problems of the NBA, and how do you think? What do you think are the biggest problems in the NBA today that need to be fixed? And do you think the NBA is getting better or worse? Put that in the comment section below, and yeah, let's go. Whoa, why am I watching this in 144p? This is not 720p, YouTube. You are lying to me. I've simply been lied to. What? Okay, well, I don't know what that was.
One of the most interesting NBA rumors that I've heard in a while is that the league's commissioner, Adam Silver, is on a short list of potential candidates to be the successor of Bob Iger as
I've seen this.
CEO. As of
The amount of LeBron memes that would come out of that if that happened.
now, it's just a report of something that could potentially happen. But if it did, the NBA would be looking for a new commissioner to run the league. With someone else in charge, the game would obviously change, for the better or for the worse. This got me thinking, what would I change if I was the commissioner of the NBA? Today, I
You think Adam Silver's done a good job
things that I
as
would
a time
do
of
to fix
commissioner?
the NBA if I was in charge. And let me
Alright.
know in the comments what three
This is a
things
really
you would
interesting
do
idea.
if you were the commissioner of the league. Let me first start out.
I would have, okay, if I was the commissioner of the NBA, let me think about ideas I would have. I would love the idea of this idea has been floating around for a while, a mid-season tournament. Because in the middle of the regular season, people kind of get bored a little bit. A mid-season tournament where the winners of the tournament get like each win in the tournament adds you like 5 regular season wins. All right, and if you get like 20 you get like 10 or 15, maybe 20 even regular season wins added onto your total if you win the tournament. So you can go like if the 9th seed wins the tournament, they're now the 1 seed. Or the 1 seed wins the tournament, they're now solidified as the 1 seed, and that will help you out because it was just an in-tournament thing that had nothing to do with the regular season. People wouldn't give a shit. Like, why the hell would I want to even try to win the tournament? I can just use my energy for the actual regular season and winning a championship, which is the actual goal of the NBA. But this would help you win a championship because it would put you higher. I saw that idea floating around a lot. And rules that help defense more. You know, scoring's been absolutely insane, but it's getting definitely a bit too insane. You got to scale that back a little bit. So that's just some stuff I would do.
By saying that I'm not
He's
a
probably
big
gonna say
fan
some
of
better
Adam
ideas
Silver
that I
and
would
of
agree
the way
with.
He's ran the league. Without sugarcoating anything, in many ways, I believe he's failed the NBA, and one of the biggest areas that
Wait, what? Hold up.
he's done that. Fan of Adam Silver, commissioner of the league. Let me first start out by saying that I'm not a big fan of Adam Silver.
Not a big
and
fan?
of the way
Okay.
He's ran the league. Without sugarcoating anything, in many ways, I believe he's failed the NBA, and one of
Wow.
the biggest areas that he's done that is in the aspect of flopping.
Yeah.
One of the worst things you
This is coming from a guy who's a fan of Luka. Okay, so you know I'm against flopping and stuff when I'm a fan of Luka, and I'm like, come on now.
can do as a parent, as
Come
a
on now.
disciplinarian, or as a leader is threaten really strong consequences for breaking certain rules just to weakly enforce
I mean, Luka doesn't flop that much. He more just complains about calls a lot.
those rules when the time comes for the consequences. It makes you into a joke and teaches your subordinates that they don't need to respect or adhere to your authority. That's exactly
Right.
what Adam Silver did when it comes to flopping. Here's what I mean by this.
They made a flopping
In
rule that didn't
2012,
enforce it
the
at all.
NBA announced
Yeah.
that the league would start strongly cracking down on flopping. The rules stated that any player who flops during the regular season would
Joel
first be
Embiid.
warned, followed by fines in increments of $5,000.
I think Joel
for
Embiid
each
is MVP,
successful flop during
or
the
is it
season.
Jokic or Giannis?
When this rule was announced, there was a lot of excitement amidst basketball
Marcus Smart's the
fans,
king of flopping.
as many people believed,
Him and Harden.
including myself, that this marked the end of flopping. We couldn't have been more
Stop flopping,
incorrect,
Marcus Harrell.
as it seems that flopping
Luka.
has only gotten worse. Since the
True.
league has established the rule, there have been only 31 fines given to the players.
That's insane.
Hundreds, if not thousands, of flops during that time span, and yet only a mere 31 fines. Famous floppers like James Harden and LeBron James have been fined only once, and Chris Paul has never been fined. If that doesn't get the point across, then consider this. How many
Insane.
total flops do you think you've seen in the last 2 seasons of the NBA?
Too many.
Believe it or not, the NBA hasn't fined a single player in the last 2 years.
LaFlop
It appears
James.
as if Adam Silver has completely given up on flopping. Even if the league was giving out more penalties, a warning and a $5,000 fine was such a weak approach from the start. If I was the commissioner, I would crack down.
It needs to be a
harshly
technical
to such
foul.
an extent that it simply couldn't continue on for that long. For egregious flops, the player would be given either a technical foul or a
I agree.
personal foul. If the flop came from an offensive
I
player,
think a technical
it would
foul.
be a loss of possession to go along with the foul. Multiple
I think a flop should be a technical foul because if you think, I think a technical foul would be more detrimental because no player would be flopping because get caught flopping twice, you're out of the game completely.
violations within the same season
And they
would
get a free
result
throw.
in a 1-game suspension.
And if you flop 16 times in the season, bro, you get suspended the game. So
Without pay. If anyone thinks this sounds too harsh, then they probably handle this issue about as well as Silver has. The next thing
True.
I would address is the massive issue
Load
of
managing?
management. Minnesota's young star Anthony Edwards recently stated my thoughts on the matter.
yeah, he's got an old school mentality.
If there's anything I could change about the league to make it better, probably just all the guys sitting resting. That's the only thing I probably don't like. 80%, you gotta
Yeah.
play. I don't like all the sitting, missing games and stuff. Like these people might have enough money to come to.
Anthony Edwards, it's come from Anthony Edwards, who I'm pretty sure still has played every single game of the season. One of the only players who have played every single game this season. And Julius Randle, he's also played every single game. So shout out to them, two All-Stars who have been played every
One
single game this
You know
season.
what I'm saying? And that might be the game they come to, and then you sitting out. You know what I'm saying? So
Pretty sure there wasn't
I'm
any
so
All-Stars
proud
to do that
trying
last
play
year.
every game,
So
'cause I don't
let's
know,
hope
it
that
might
actually
be one fan
continues
that
for
has
them all
never seen me
season.
play, and I'm trying to play. So that's the only thing.
I like that. Anthony Edwards got that Kobe mentality. Even when Kobe was injured, he was like, hey, there could be some fan who, save their money to see me play one time, and then what if I just sit out? That'd be messed up to them. Some person wants to see me play, I'm going to play. Yeah.
I don't like guys just sitting out.
This isn't just a small issue.
Kevin McHale. I know I'm pausing a lot. I don't care. Kevin McHale broke his damn foot and played the entire season. And now he can't walk properly to this day. Which, to be fair, I do not think it should go that far. If you break your damn foot, don't play, okay? Because the season one season is probably not worth you not being able to walk properly for the rest of your life. Probably not worth it, all right? But yeah, that's probably too extreme of a case. So that, don't go that much off the load managing. But
As many young fans often end up disappointed when their favorite player chooses to sit out the only game that they may ever attend. If you don't
Right.
realize just how common load management is compared to years past, then consider this. Last season, league-wide, only 5 players played all 82 games of the regular season.
Mikal Bridges
13 players played at
hasn't
least
missed a
80
game in his entire
games.
career, I'm pretty sure.
None of those 13 players were an NBA All-Star. 30 years before that
Damn.
was the 1991-92 season, and that year, 53 players played all 82 games, and a whopping 105 players played at least 80 games. 14 All-Stars played at least 80 games that season, which is well over half of the...
That's insane. The thing, and also being considered that this was a more physical era. You were probably more likely to get injured in this era because of all the fucking, not everything was a foul. So or if it was well, I think flagrant foul probably existed by '92, I believe. But all this, you were probably but people just played through injuries and stuff, and they weren't just sit out and stuff, which. Yeah, Chris Mullin, Karl Malone, Jeff Hornacek, Tim Hardaway, John Stockton, Dan Marley, Otis Thorpe, Patrick Ewing, Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan, Dennis Rodman, Joe Dumars, Reggie Lewis, and Kevin Willis are all playing 80 games. That's insane. Michael Jordan especially. played 82 games so many times. John Stockton, I believe, like missed 16 games his entire goddamn career. Pretty insane, considering he played for like 20 years, nearly.
NBA's All-Stars that year. Decades ago, almost every fan had an experience worth the price of their ticket. But nowadays, you never know who will be on the court on any given night. Sure, it helps preserve the health of the players, and it helps them be in the best shape possible for the playoffs, but these players are made millionaires thanks to the supporting customers. The least they can do is go out there consistently and show their appreciation for the fans by actually participating in the game. But obviously, that's probably a little too much to ask for without the commissioner stepping in and giving some sort of enforcement. Now, I understand that being the NBA's commissioner doesn't mean that you have unlimited power, as the collective bargaining agreement and contracts play a part of this as well. But I would do everything in my power to encourage.
I'd say like maybe like a pay cut considering how many games you missed. But I wouldn't want to punish guys for like tearing their Achilles or something. But like, yeah, I'd say a pay cut for if you get injured. Because even if you do go through a serious injury, you're still not playing. You signed a 5-year contract to play basketball. If you're not available, if you're not physically able to play basketball, you still probably shouldn't get paid the same amount. And it would discourage guys that can play, they're just not, to keep playing.
Encourage players to participate. In most jobs across the United States, if you don't show up for work, then you don't get money. Paid. Obviously, there's some exceptions to that.
Right, yeah, that makes sense. Because if you can't physically do your job, even if you literally can't do it, you still probably don't get paid in a lot of jobs.
But for the most part, that's simply how it is. Too many players are paid a full salary while missing a tremendous amount of games. But if their pay was dependent on it, trust me, they would be in uniform.
I think it should be, maybe they should change the contract to like a year contract, like you get a 5-year, $100 million contract to like a amount of games contract, amount of games you play in, for a certain amount of minutes. Because I feel like some guys would cheese that and just like play 5 seconds of the game. But yeah, it should be like a certain amount of games contract. Like like sometimes you get like a amount of work days contract. It should be amount of games played contract maybe.
More consistently. I would endorse contract-specific incentives that would reward players financially for playing at least 75 games in a season. A bonus only seems fitting for a player showing up to work diligently. Unfortunately, under Adam Silver, this isn't the reality we're living in, as it almost seems like load managing has a stamp of approval. Speaking of which, today's video is brought to you by
Stamps.com. Okay. They're not giving me money, so I won't show their sponsor, though I would invite them to. But I have 800 subscribers, so probably not. Probably not worth their money.
Just go to Stamps.com.
Maybe one day, if you like and subscribe, maybe we can get sponsored by Stamps.com.
The third thing I would do as commissioner would probably be my most controversial decision.
Extend the 3-point line.
Throughout the
I don't know if I agree with this one. Let's see.
The 3-point shot has completely taken over the game of basketball, to the point that any player who can't make the shot consistently is seen as a detriment to the offense. Today, the league is shooting about 3 times more 3-pointers than they did in the 90s, and about double the amount of the 2000s. The reason for this is obvious. It's simple math. If your team is shooting 40% from 3-point range and 50% from 2-point range, over the course of the game, you will score more points by shooting 3s than by shooting 2s. It's simply the most valuable shot in the game today. It no longer matters which position you play on the court. If you're playing, then you're expected to launch the 3-ball. Now, this is a wonderful thing in the sense that more players are becoming sharpshooters. But the part that isn't great is how it affects the variety of the game. In my opinion, the game...
By the way, I'm missing... Oh, I forgot to even mention this. I'm missing a tooth because my dentist takes like 5... I had a capped tooth and it like fell off. So my dentist says like the insurance company takes like 5 months to like give you the dentist permission to give me a new tooth. So sorry, I look stupid. Not my fault.
The game has lost much of its diversity of style. I'm not saying there isn't superstar players.
Well, kind of my fault because I like Big Red too much.
Are uniquely different from each other in today's game, because there certainly is. But they aren't quite as unique as they were in the 1990s.
Right.
The players were more celebrated for their differences. Shaq was the one who could simply overpower you. Hakeem was the one with the artistic finesse. Ewing was a blend of both. Penny was the point guard who could facilitate and score. Sean Kemp was the one who punished you with his freakish athleticism. Barkley and Malone were bullies and
Sean Kemp, bro. I heard Sean Kemp recently apparently Sean Kemp was so if you don't know, the original story was Sean Kemp came out and he was like booked as like arrested for a drive-by shooting, but it originally came out that it might have been it was in self-defense. So we'll get more stories on that. But Sean Kemp apparently shot someone. Whether it was but it could have originally came out it wasn't in self-defense. Now it came out that maybe it should be self-defense. I don't know. What do y'all think about that? Yeah.
in the paint, but just don't ask them to shoot 3-pointers.
Start bench trade. Sean Kemp, John Moran, Gilbert Arenas, the Gun Boys. Sorry, I'm getting distracted.
Score. Sean Kemp was the one who punished you with his freakish athleticism. Barkley and Malone were bullies in the paint, but just don't ask them to shoot 3-pointers. Reggie Miller was your downtown assassin. Scottie Pippen was your slasher facilitator blend. And Jordan was the one who had a bit of everything. These past stars were allowed to thrive in their own unique and specific skill sets. Again, there are plenty of players in the modern game
that are different, but they all kind of
in their skill set. But they're not allowed to fully embrace those differences because of the now common belief that every star needs to be a ball handler and a perimeter threat. And unfortunately, if you don't do both of those things, people start to think you suck. Take Russell Westbrook and Ben Simmons as examples. Now here's how extending the 3-point line fixes this. By increasing the distance of the 3-point shot, the conversion rate obviously goes down, which then naturally increases the value of the 2-point shot. In that case, players like Joel Embiid can completely embrace his mid-range game and become a modern rendition of Hakeem Olajuwon on offense. Players like Zion Williamson can fully embrace his bully ball style without having to step outside of his comfort zone and shoot 3-pointers. And ideally, we would never have to see an awkward 3-point attempt again from players like Giannis, as he can embrace his natural skill set. Now some may say that this would hinder the great 3-point shooters of this era, but I would actually argue the contrary. With a 3-point line a couple feet beyond what it currently is, players like Steph
Curry would be very
valuable. Become even more special because they're more of a rarity. If not everyone can make shots from the distance that they can and is worth more points, then they naturally increase their demand and are celebrated to an even greater extent for their uniqueness. At the end of the day, I think this would work. But even if it didn't, you could just do what they did in the late 90s and put the 3-point line back to its original position after a couple years. The risk is minimal, but the potential reward is through the roof. So what do you guys think? What are 3 things?
Alright, I think the 3-point line thing, that could work, but I would say something else. That's an idea I have. What if you like made it where like teams could only attempt a certain amount of threes per quarter or something? Like you were allowed like 10 3-point attempts in a quarter, right? So you had to really use your 3-point attempts on good looks. Like you couldn't just chuck up a 3 because like, oh, it's the NBA, modern NBA. Instead of taking a mid-range shot, I should step back and take a contested 3, which is what a lot of people don't like. If you could only take 10 3-point attempts in a quarter, it'd really shine the great shooters because they would be the ones shooting the threes. You wouldn't get people who couldn't shoot threes that well shooting awkward threes. And like every 3-point attempt would matter a lot more. People would be shooting only good looks, but you would still have a good amount of threes, so the shooter would still be very valuable because that's still like 40 threes a game you're allowed to take, but it becomes a lot more valuable if you're not just chucking them. And it would create a lot of weird in-game situations where like maybe at the end of the game, maybe you've attempted all 10 of your 3-pointers, but you can't take any more 3-pointers that quarter, I think maybe that'd be an interesting idea, or maybe the extended 3-point line. Which idea do you think is better? Do you think any of those are interesting ideas? We're about to end the video here.
You would change if you were the NBA's commissioner. Let me know in the comments section below. Thanks for watching as always. Make sure to like and subscribe for more basketball content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Alright, so that was a good video by Jonny Arnett. Pretty interesting changes. I agree with most of them. Mainly the overall idea of most of them. And do you agree with these ideas? And what ideas would you change if you were the commissioner of the NBA? What new rules would you put in place? Would you put a 4-point line or something crazy in there? Would you take away the 3-point line altogether? I don't know. I don't know what y'all do. Y'all probably do some crazy things. Y'all probably just knowing y'all, you'd probably just make a rule just saying LeBron James is not allowed to play in the NBA because I know my audience. Okay, but yeah. Okay, so that's the end of this video, and bye.